Hi everyone, my name is Cyprienne and today I'm going to be showing you how to make the crochet Chloe bucket hat. I made this hat out of cotton yarn because with its open weave design on the sides, I think that it's perfect for a summer hat. This pattern is available for free on my blog and I'll leave a link to that below. And today I'm going to be demonstrating the adult size, but the pattern does include sizes newborn through adult. And if you're new to crochet, this is actually a very simple hat. These cluster stitches here are just made with double crochet. All you do is skip a stitch and then go back and work in the stitch that you didn't work into before. It's that simple. So even if you want to make a smaller size and you're just starting out, what you can do is follow along the video, but just have a look at the counts on the website so that you can make it the correct size. Okay, I'm going to put all the materials that you need above. You start with a 6.5 millimeter hook, and then when we move down to the brim, you're going to switch to a 5.5. But to get started today, all you need is some worsted weight cotton yarn and the 6.5 millimeter hook and something to use as a stitch marker. So I'm going to pause the video. You can gather up your supplies and we'll meet up and start the hat. Start with our slip knots. If you know how to do a magic circle and prefer to do that, you can absolutely do that. Just work 6 stitches, 6 single crochet into the magic circle. But for the rest of you who are going to follow what I'm doing, we're just going to chain 2. Now working into the second chain from the hook, we're going to place 6 single crochet in there. That's our first chain and that's our second chain. So you're going to insert the hook, yarn over, pull that loop through, then you're going to yarn over and pull through all 2 loops. So you can click on the timestamp below to see how to do that again, and I'll work it with you here as well. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and through all 2 loops. So that's 2 single crochets made, and we're going to do 4 more. Insert your hook, yarn over, and through those 2 loops. And of course, if you already know how to crochet, just hit this timestamp below to move on to round 2. Okay, insert your hook, yarn over, through those 2 loops, insert, yarn over, and through those 2 loops. Now I don't know if yours is going to open up like mine. Just give that a little tug and that'll close that up for you. So let's count our stitches. So this is the first one we made. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I need to do 1 more, and that's 6. Okay, now we're not joining for this pattern, we're just going to work continuously. So whenever there's no join, it makes the starting stitch harder to find, so I always use a stitch marker. So this is where we're going to start to use it. So moving on to round 2, we're just going to work a single crochet into that first stitch. And then we're going to mark that stitch with our stitch marker, which for me is a paperclip. You can use a bobby pin, a paperclip, a piece of yarn, whatever you want. Now working into that same stitch where we just worked the single crochet, we're going to work another single crochet in there. So now we've worked 2. And then we're going to single crochet into the next stitch, followed by another single crochet right into where we worked that stitch. And we're going to place 2 single crochets in each stitch around exactly how we did here. So that means we're doubling our stitches for round 2. So at the end of round 2, we should have 12 stitches. So I'll just go ahead and make those. Okay, so I'm at the end of round 2 here. And so we'll go around and we'll count these stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. That's perfect. Okay, so moving on to round 3, we're just going to take out our stitch marker. We are going to work 1 single crochet in the first stitch, followed by 2 single crochet in the next. And before we get ahead of ourselves here, let's make sure that we put our stitch marker back in. So moving on to the next stitch, we're going to work 1 single crochet, followed by 2 single crochet right back in there. And also make sure that you're working under both loops of the single crochet, not just the front or the back. So you're going to work underneath both those loops. So insert your hook. There's 1 single crochet. Now I've lost track of what I'm doing because I'm talking too much. So if that happens to you, our pattern here is single crochet in 1 stitch and 2 single crochet in the next. So just look and see what you've done on the stitch before. So here I can see I did 2 single crochets and then follow that by 1 single. Then I'll continue on with the double. So I'm going to put the pattern repeat above here, and I'm going to go ahead and finish off round 3, and then we'll meet up for our stitch count. Okay, so I'm at the end of round 3 here, and our stitch count should be 18 stitches. So just go around and count all these V's, and then we'll end up at the first stitch, and you should have 18. Okay, so we're finished round 3 now, and let's move on to round 4. So for starting round 4, we're going to place a single crochet in that first stitch, and then a single crochet in the next. Then let's quickly pop our stitch marker back in to mark the beginning of round 4. And then we're going to follow that by 2 single crochet into the next stitch. So you can see a pattern starting here where we're doing our increases into the same place as we did our increase for the last round. So we're going to increase into that stitch, so 2 single crochet, followed by a single crochet in the next, followed by a single crochet in the next, followed by 2 single crochet in the next. So I'll pop those instructions above and go ahead and complete round 4, and we'll meet up to do a stitch count. Okay, so I just finished round 4, and I finished the round with 2 single crochet in the last stitch, and the stitch count for round 4 is 24. So just go around and make sure that you have 24 stitches. That is absolutely necessary for the sizing because we have a wrong stitch count here. That wrong stitch count is only going to be magnified as we move ahead with the following rounds. Okay, so for round 5, we're going to be working a single crochet in the first stitch, followed by a single crochet into the next 2 stitches. So we'll just work those there. And you guessed it, followed by 2 single crochets into the next stitch. So let's go back and quickly pop in our stitch marker so that we don't lose our spot. So if you're not sure where it is, we did 3 single crochet. So you can just count back 1, 2, 3, and that's where your stitch marker goes. And then we'll continue on. So you're going to work 1 single crochet into the next 3 stitches. That's 1, 2, and 3, followed by 2 single crochet where we did the last increase in the previous round. So we're going to place 2 single crochet right in there. So you're going to continue that pattern for the rest of round 5. I'll pop the instructions above and we'll meet up for a stitch count. Okay, so at the end of round 5, again, I finished the round with 2 single crochet in the last stitch, and our stitch count for round 5 is 30. So just make sure that you've got 30 stitches all the way around to the first stitch, and we can continue on with round 6. So we're going to continue the exact same way, but this time we're going to be working a single crochet into the first 4 stitches, followed by 2 single crochet in the next. So I'll do that with you. So we're going to go single crochet 1. I'm going to pop this back in right now. 2, 3, and 4, followed by 2 single crochet in the next stitch. Now, because the pattern, I'm sure you guys are becoming familiar with it, I'm just going to do the pattern once, pop it above, and we'll meet up at the end of round 6, and we'll do a stitch count and carry on to round 7. Okay, so I just finished round 6 and I have 36 stitches all the way around. And of course, I've finished my round with 2 single crochets in the last stitch. So just double check your stitch count is 36 and we'll move on to round 7. Okay, so for round 7, we're going to be working a single crochet into the first 5 stitches. And again, we're going to do our increase into the same stitch as we did the increase below. So we'll place 2 single crochet into there. So I'll just work the first pattern, repeat with you, and we'll move on. So we're going to work 1 single crochet, put our stitch marker back right in that first stitch, and then we're going to work a single crochet over the next 4 stitches for a total of 5 single crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. We'll just double check we've done 5 single crochet. 1, 2, 3. Oh, hang on. Sorry, I counted the wrong one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, followed by 2 single crochet right in there. So just continue that pattern all the way around to the end of round 7, and we'll come back and do a stitch count and move on to round 8. Okay, so I finished round 7, and at the end of round 7, you should have 42 stitches all the way around. So you can tell at this point that every round we're increasing by 6 stitches. So now we're going to move on to round 8, and we're going to be placing 1 single crochet into the first 6 stitches. So I'll do that with you here. 1, I'm going to pop my my stitch marker back in. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we are going to work 2 single crochet into here again, creating that increase. So that is your pattern repeat for the rest of round 8. And then we'll meet up to do a count again. Okay, so I just finished round 8 with 2 single crochet in the last stitch, and your stitch count for the end of row 8 should be 48. So we can move on to round 9 now. And we're going to do that by placing 1 single crochet into the first 7 stitches. I'll just work those with you. Pop your stitch marker back in. Grab some yarn. Okay. And then just finish off the 7. We're coming close to the end of our increase rounds, and then we'll be starting with the body of the hat, and that's the fun stuff. That's when we're going to start to see that lacy texture taking place, and the body of the hat also works up much quicker than the increase rounds. Okay, so we're just going to make sure that we have 7 stitches here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we're going to follow that again by increase here in the next stitch. So that's 2 single crochet there. So I'll go ahead and finish up round 9, meet up with you as always for a stitch count, and we'll move on to round 10. Okay, so we're ready to move on to round 10, but before we do, you just want to make sure that you have a stitch count of 54 on round 9. So this is our last increase round, and we are going to do this the exact same way, except for round 10, we're going to be working a single crochet into the first 8 stitches, followed by an increase in the next. So I'll just work this first pattern with you. So that's 1. Don't forget your stitch marker. So we're just going to do a single crochet across, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 8. And then 2 single crochet in the next. I'll pop the instructions above and we'll go ahead. We're going to finish round 10 and meet up to a stitch count. Okay, so I finished the top of the hat and I have my 60 stitches. And now what we're going to be doing is working on or moving on to the cluster stitch. So for the first round, what we're going to do is we're going to skip the first stitch and then work 2 double crochet into the next. So there's 1 and then 2. And then we're going to cross back over those 2 double crochets that you just made. So what we're going to be doing is working a double crochet into the stitch that you just skipped. So just start your double crochet, go back over in front, pull up a loop, and you want to pull it up to the height of those double crochets, and then just finish your double crochet. And you see how you've crossed over your cluster. So cross cluster. Then you're going to be skipping the next 2 stitches, 1, 2, and working 2 double crochets again. So you're going to work 2 double crochet into that 3rd stitch. And then just like the last time, we're going to go back over in front of those 2 double crochets and working a double crochet into the stitch that we skipped just before we started the cluster. So just go back, pull up to the height of those double crochets and finish off your double crochet. Okay, and you can see how the texture is now taking shape. So that's how you're going to work for the rest of this round. You're going to skip 2 stitches. In the 3rd, work your 2 regular double crochets. Okay, and then go back into the one that we stitched just before we worked the 2, working in front, and work your double crochet. And make sure you pull it up to the height of the 2 stitches you just made and finish that double crochet. So just put our stitch marker into the very first stitch that we did of the round. Okay, so just work that for the rest of the round. Okay, I just finished my round of cluster stitches. It still looks very flat, but don't worry, as we work on the sides, it will start to take that bowl shape. So you just want to check that you still have 60 stitches, and the quickest and easiest way to do that is just to count and make sure that you have 20 of these little clusters. Each cluster consists of 3 stitches, so 3 times 20 is 60, so there's your 60 stitches. Moving on to round 12. This is a super easy round. All we're going to be doing is working a single crochet into every stitch. So you're just going to skip that last stitch of the round and start working directly into the double crochet of the first cluster you made. So let's just put our stitch marker in. And just go around and work single crochets in each stitch. Now, I want to point something out here. When you come to this open space, you'll see that your stitch is quite loose. What we want to do when we're working here is instead of just working through the 2 loops, you want to catch this bottom loop as well. So insert your hook through the space and then make your single crochet. And that's going to make that space area quite tidy when you work the rest. Then continue on, working single crochet in each double crochet. And then again, I'm going to insert the hook into the space and finish my single crochet. So I'll go ahead and finish. And again, you should have 60 stitches by the end of this round. Okay, so I have just completed round 12 and I have double checked that I do have 60 stitches. And so now we can move on to round 13, which is going to be exactly the same as round 11. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to skip that first stitch and you're going to work 2 double crochets into the next. And we're not joining or turning, we're just working in continuous rounds. And then go back and work your double crochet into the stitch that you skipped. Now it is easier to find the beginning and the ends of your rounds working these stitches, but you may or may not want to keep using your stitch marker. I like to use one. Okay, so you're going to skip the next 2, work 2 double crochets into that 3rd stitch. And then just like before, you're going to work back over these 2 stitches, working a double crochet into the stitch you skipped just before you made these. So this is the pattern repeat for the entire hat. I will put timestamps below so that you can go back and check. So for the rest of the hat, what you're going to do is repeat rounds 12 and 13 2 more times until you've finished 17 rounds. So round 14, you'll start again with a round of single crochet, followed by a round of cluster stitches, and then you'll do that twice. Okay, so I have finished all the cluster rounds, and then we are ready to move on to the brim. So this is after round 17 is when you want to change to your 5.5 millimeter hook. You can see that there's quite a taper on the hat right now, and moving to the smaller hook as well as adding more rounds is going to fix that and bring it into the proper shape that it should be. So all that we're going to be doing for rounds 18 and 19 is working single crochets. So just make sure, like I said, you change to your 5.5 millimeter hook. So all we're going to do is work the next 2 rounds of single crochet exactly the way we did previously, except for this time you're going to be using the 5.5 millimeter hook. So go ahead and work those rounds. Looks like I need to join my yarn, and I'll meet up with you and we'll start on the brim. Okay, so for round 20, we're going to be working in the front loop. I ripped out some of my work here, so that's why my stitches are so loose. But what we're going to be doing is just working a single crochet through that front loop in the first 2 stitches, followed by 2 single crochets in the next. So that's a single crochet increase. We're going to work 2 into that, and you're going to work in the front loop all the way around regardless of the number of stitches that you're working. And then you're going to do a single crochet in the next 2 stitches, followed by 2 single crochet in the next. So that's the pattern repeat for the entire round. I'll put the instructions in the video above, and you're going to work that all the way around to the start of the round, and you should have 80 stitches by the end of it. So I'll go off camera, finish working that round, and meet up for round 21. Okay, so I have finished round 20, counted my stitches, and I have 80. So for round 21, all we're going to do is work a single crochet in each stitch around. So you're going to be working through both loops now for the rest of the hat. So just go ahead and work a single crochet in each stitch around, and of course your stitch count will be the same because we're not adding any, and then we'll meet up for round 22. Okay, I finished round 21, counted my stitches, and I still have 80. So for round 22, we're going to be working a single crochet into the first 4 stitches. Oh, I'm losing my hair here. So it's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then you're going to work 2 single crochet in the next. Just slip my stitch marker back in so I don't lose my spot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, And then you're going to be working a single crochet again in the next 4 stitches. And 2 single crochet. One, 2, 3, 4, and 2 single crochet in the next. So you just repeat that for the entire round of round 22. Single crochet in 4 stitches and then 2 single crochet in the next, and at the end of round 22 you should have 96 stitches. Okay, so I have just finished round 22. I have 96 stitches, and now for the last 4 rounds, so rounds 23 through 26, you're just working single crochets. That's all you're doing. So just keep your stitch marker in place so that you know where to end. And then we'll meet up. Well, of course, if you like the bucket hat the way it is, just when you finish round 26, fasten off and you're done. If you want that little ruffly edge, then come back and I'll show you how to do that. So I'm just going to go off camera and work the next 4 rounds of single crochet, and I'll meet up with you soon. Okay, so we are almost done. You're back because we're going to work on the scalloped edge together. So all you're going to do is slip stitch into that first stitch, chain 3, so 1, 2, and 3, and then you're going to slip stitch into the next stitch, chain 3 again, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch into the next, and chain 3, 3, and slip stitch into the next. And that is all you're going to do for the entire round. If you don't know how to fasten off, I'm just going to pretend I'm at the end of the round, and you're just going to do a slip stitch, yarn over, pull that through, and cut your yarn and weave in your ends. And so that is your bucket hat done. I hope that you really enjoyed this video. Remember, I have more sizes on my blog, and if you're on Instagram, I would love to see photos. You can tag me at Pretty Darn Adorable. So that is everything for today, and I'm going to recommend some videos here that I think you might enjoy. And thanks so much for joining me. Take care, and until next time, bye-bye.